All right, everyone, if you just caught WWE's The Bump, we had Randy Orton on to celebrate 20-year anniversary in WWE. But we're going to continue that conversation with him now. I'm going to go back and read a little accolade. Oh, we just have him here. Never mind. Randy Orton.
Let him hear it.
We don't even need to do the whole thing. 20 years in WWE, Randy Orton. You have been an inspiration to so many. You are people. Ryan was talking earlier about when he was in elementary school. We first saw you hit the WWE ring. So welcome to the. I knew you.
He wants to hear that, Kayla.
I had nothing to do with that, Randy.
But 20 years, what does this mean to you, Randy?
Elementary school. Oh my God, I'm old. I'm old. It's like when I'm at a restaurant with my family and like a waiter comes up, full beard, and he's like, "Oh, are you Randy Orton?" "Yes, I'm Randy Orton." "Oh, I used to watch you when I was a kid." And I'm thinking like, this is a grown man. He looks like a lumberjack. He's 35 at least, and he was a young man watching me. Like, that makes me really, really old. I'm getting old. Oh my gosh. Like, it's a little scary, but at the same time, like, when I'm in that ring, I feel like I can do anything, man. I feel like I'm 25. I think it's we were talking about it a little bit earlier on The Bump. Riddle's kind of revitalized my career, so to speak, as far as how I feel in that ring, and he's unlocked the amount of fun that I can have in that ring. And I think that before Riddle, no matter how you considered me as a performer, like there was something missing that is there now that wasn't there before. And what exactly is it? I don't know, but I know that it's a direct result of partnering with Riddle.
Mm. Well, we want to take a little walk down memory lane, so we're going to get right into it. We are just days away from the 20th anniversary of your debut match on SmackDown against Hardcore Holly. Let's take a look at the entrance here. What do you remember about this first walk down the aisle?
Well, I remember that haircut. I remember those trunks. Golly, 20 years ago. Yeah, what do I remember about that day? Man, being just absolutely nervous, sick to my stomach, just the deal, guys. Like, those butterflies, they were on full effect before this match with Hardcore Holly. And I do remember, Bob Holly was a veteran at that time. And I was really lucky to be in the ring with someone like that. And I was picking up the win. And I remember it being a little bit of a hard pill for Bob to swallow, that this, brand new, fresh-faced, baby-faced 20-year-old kid who's only here because his dad wrestled was beating him with a small package. So I think I had a little heat with Bob for that. If he's out here listening to this, I'm sure he's over it by now. But yeah, I'd say that's what I remember the most is I was beating this guy, and I knew that I was going to get chopped left and right, up and down for my troubles.
What do you remember about the fans' reaction to you on your debut?
Man, I honestly, I don't really remember the reaction. I think at that point, when I was just starting out, like, I was almost tuning them out because of those nerves, instead of listening to them and letting them kind of help feed my, help that adrenaline, right? My nerves were suppressing any of that. So I don't think I was really in tune with the audience back then. I wasn't paying attention as much as I do now. But they were watching, that's for sure.
You mentioned, obviously, Bob having a different mindset maybe going into that match. And, he's been around since 1994 in WWE at that point. But not only with this match, but in the months leading after that, you're kind of together. You're doing some stuff on TV together. There's tag matches. You're together on live events. Being with someone who had been around that long, what did you learn from Bob in those first few months on SmackDown?
Well, with Bob, I think the main thing I learned was just kind of how to carry myself in the ring. He was a tough customer, right? So when he came down to the ring, you knew that your hands were going to be full with this guy. And one thing I remember him telling me early on, probably the best piece of advice I got from Bob, is when I would come down to the ring, he could tell that I had those nerves. He could see in my eyes that maybe I wasn't as confident in myself as I needed to be for the job at hand. I needed those fans to believe that I believed in myself. If I didn't believe in myself, how are they going to get behind me? And Bob giving me that little tidbit, it's a small thing, but it's huge. When you come through the curtain, you have to believe, once you step through that curtain, that nobody can take you, that you are the top dog. And you have to have that mentality walking down to the ring, and you have to believe that and feel that like a method actor almost, because you can read it on people's face. When you got a green guy, a brand new guy, come to the ring and he's a little nervous, and if the camera gets a hint of that, the fans pick up on that. And Bob let me in on that little secret.
Well, obviously, you are considered an absolute legend now, but it's really impressive that early in your career you were in the ring with legends then. Shortly after that, you took on The Undertaker for the undisputed title on SmackDown. I can imagine how surreal that moment had to have been for you to be in a ring with The Undertaker that early in your career.
Yeah, that really was amazing. That was during the American Badass days. I spoke a little bit about this when I did the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast, but Undertaker was very giving to me in that match. And I like looking back at that, and it reminds me of how a guy of his stature put it all out there and did everything he could do for me on that SmackDown that night. And he didn't have to do that, is my point. He did not have to take a hip toss and an arm drag from Randy Orton. He was The Undertaker. The American Badass, The Undertaker, he was the man and still is the man. And the fact that he let me bounce around that ring like that spoke a lot, that said a lot about, just his respect for me as a performer, his respect for my father as a performer. It goes all the way back to that. It's a family business, and he knew where I came from, and that's one thing he always treated me with respect. And for The Undertaker to treat a young guy with respect like that, and to show him, the time of day, and to kind of take him under his wing, that's huge. So perfect example set for me for later in my career, for now, to kind of give back to the guys that are in that position or younger or haven't been around as long as me, giving back.
Love that. Well, Randy, after that initial run on SmackDown, you were drafted to Raw, but shortly after, you went down with a shoulder injury. However, you remained active on TV by providing updates via the Randy News Network, RNN. Let's check out some of those updates right now.
But, JR, the difference is, unlike Bret Hart, Randy Orton will be back. So I want to take this time to reassure everyone out there that I am all right, and I will be doing these updates from time to time to let all you fans out there know.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking growing my hair out there. I want to say Stephanie McMahon told me that she wanted me to grow my hair out, so I gave it a good college try there for a few months, but then eventually just cut it off.
But luckily, doctors caught it early, applied some antibacterial ointment, and the skin healed. Now, for all my loyal fans out there,
well,
I have
Randy,
a special treat.
We have to interrupt you, Randy. But we got some.
JR, wait.
We got a developing story.
JR,
here.
I'm not finished.
What are you interrupting
JR,
me for?
I'm not finished.
Yeah, oh my God, talk about a flashback, a walk down memory lane. Like, I remember that was at the restaurant, that last one there. That was at the restaurant in New York City, right?
Yep.
I remember that. They used to send us there. I had been on TV for months, got hurt, and they were sending me to host like these, whatever it was, like, watch-alongs with the fans. So I'd be like hosting an event in New York City on stage with my arm in a sling, for all these fans. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I'm a wrestler. I'm not a host. And I just started wrestling. So they throw you right in the fire here in the WWE. It's sink or swim. And fortunately, I had my floaties on back then.
Well, I imagine RN was pretty crucial as your evolution as a superstar, especially when it does come to your mic skills. Case in point, this past Friday night on SmackDown. When you say, REN really helped you develop those skills.
Obviously, I hadn't had any mic work done yet at that point in my career. I'd just gotten hurt. So we were in Montreal, and I had just had my surgery, and Vince wanted me in Montreal for the show. And they wanted to like check on my shoulder and see how I was doing. And that's when the RNN update was born. And they had me go out on stage. It wasn't filmed in the back. It wasn't a backstage pre-tape or anything. I came out to the stage. And this is the first time I'm on the microphone, and talk about nervous, right? And I'm supposed to be a babyface. So the promo is intended for me to be like just informing the fans on my situation, and it was delivered as a babyface. The reaction I got was such a great one, and it was just such a negative reaction. The entire, I believe it's the Bell Center in Montreal, the entire Bell Center was booing me out of the building. And I remember I was so ignorant to how special that was, that I was getting booed at that like decibel. So when I got that reaction, my initial thought was, oh no, they're supposed to like me and they don't like me. Oh no. And then I go back and it's like, yeah, great. That was great. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like that's how green I was. But yeah, we realized that we kind of had something special there. And then that slowly just kept me in people's, brains. And every week that you're on television, that helps, you know what I mean? And if you miss a couple of weeks due to an injury or, whatever the circumstances might be, that can really slow down your momentum. So at that point in my career, to get hurt just a couple months in, I think I had just moved to Raw, had a couple matches and got hurt. That's like the kiss of death. You don't know when you're going to be put back in the rotation and get that TV time, because that TV time is what you need every week to be consistently put out there in front of the people. And then they get to know you that way. If you're missing TV, it's just not going to work. Those RNN updates allowed me to stay on TV consistently and build a rapport with the fans.
Right on.
So it was huge. RNN update, that was huge.
Bring
huge
it
for me.
back. Bring it back.
I'd personally love
I
this.
got to get hurt first.
No. But Randy, speaking of being in the fans' minds, we got a ton of fan questions for you today. And it was shortly after those RNN updates that you would debut your current, still to this day, your gear, the current look that you still have. PJ had a question here asking about who came up with the idea for your gear. And you really, again, like I said, you've stayed consistent with it. Have you ever thought about changing it over the years?
My wife just, she's in the background over here. She just smirks. She's always trying to get me to change my look, or even a subtle change, and I've had every intention to change my gear up, along my career, like the last few years, to like, you know what, I think I'm going to try and wear pants, or I think I'm going to come up with a different design, or I'm going to wear elbow pads or different wrist tape. Like every little change, right, I've considered, and they all go out the window when it comes to, me being at TV on Mondays. Like it just feels wrong to do anything else. And I think part of that is because I've worn the same stuff for so long. I mean, other than that debut with Bob Holly and maybe the subsequent weeks after that, like I wore those old blue and yellow striped biker shorts. But when I came to Raw, I believe I changed to the tights, and I mean it's been those ever since. So I think it's kind of special that I haven't changed, and I've got all those trunks that I wore back in the day. I hang on to all that stuff, and I think it's really cool that my look hasn't changed. I've had the same music for a really long time. And just when you're thinking like, you know what, I need new music, I need something fresh. And it's like, maybe I don't. maybe I don't. Everybody else is evolving and changing, and maybe like kind of keeping a little taste of the old school, from when I started. Maybe that is special in and of itself.
Yep.
I'm still kind of pondering the whole gear change thing, but we'll see. Time will tell.
It's a classic look. We're going to break down the origins of the RKO in a second. We have a fan question, but first, Randy, behind you, did action figure Randy RKO, action figure Kurt Angle right behind you on that table? Right. If you look behind, right.
Oh, I think so. Yeah. My wife. I'm on my wife's computer. She does her Wives of Wrestling podcast on this computer, and I guess these are the little.
Arcane note.
Yeah. Yeah. They do like. Oh, Kayla says hi.
Kayla!
She says hi. Yeah.
Look at that.
They use them as voodoo dolls, man. You got to watch out.
But
Yeah, right. Hey, you know what we're gonna do? Hold on. We're gonna change this
Wow,
up.
congratulations. Another accolade. You're a gold medalist.
Yeah, there we go. A little
Grand Slam winner.
pose here. Yay.
Gold medal.
We'll turn the head. Yay.
Randy, to that point, the question was from Danny. Is there anyone that you'd love to RKO that you haven't already? There's so many that you have. Are there names on the list that you have yet to get?
Yeah, I don't know that I've hit my wife with an RKO. She got me.
We've seen
a
her
couple
hit you with one,
times.
though.
Yeah. We were on vacation in the Maldives a couple years ago, and she got me into the ocean, like the Indian Ocean or whatever ocean's out there, man. Oh, that was so cool. That was so cool. I feel like that went viral.
It did.
Like for a hot second. Yeah. Oh, that I can't lie. That's awesome. And that stuff happened. But maybe this summer I'll hit Kim with an RKO and see if we can't get I don't know what are those World Star. Do people do that anymore?
Yes,
we're kicking it back up.
We're bringing that back. Wow. I don't think we get a World Star reference on Orton Week, but we just did. Let's go way back. Let's go before the RKO because we saw it against Bob Holly. You had that high crossbody as a finishing maneuver. You put your own spin on it, no doubt about that. A little frog splash in it at some points. How did you land on that as your original finishing maneuver?
Man, everybody was doing stuff off the top rope. Lesnar did that shooting star press, and John was doing the that leg drop he did. And I felt like I needed something off the top rope, so that was the safest way I was gonna dismount off that top buckle. That's pretty much the only thing that I was capable of doing off the top rope. So that's why I chose a crossbody.
Well, the first time we saw
no cool story.
Well, the first time we saw you hit the RKO was in this Raw match we're going to play here against Hurricane. How did it go from what we're seeing here that's now turned into something that can literally be hit out of nowhere? It's the most, unsuspecting.
You grab it here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was the first. That's right. Yeah, I've talked to, Shane Hurricane. I see him every Monday and Friday that I'm working SmackDown. He's a close friend. We're just talking about that the other day, how time flies. What was that, 18, 19 years ago, something like that. But it's just time flies, man. What was the question? I'm sorry.
Oh, just kind of how it's evolved. The RKO's kind of evolved from the first time.
Oh, right. That's right. Yeah, I think just like anything, it's been such a long amount of time since I started doing it that it's naturally gonna kind of take on its own form eventually. And I think that's kind of what happened. I didn't week by week try to change it up. I think it was kind of just necessity. I couldn't just grab the guy's head every time I wanted to hit it and then jump up and do it. Like I needed to be able to do it quicker as what I think happened. And then we needed reversals and then all of a sudden, Diamond Dallas Page had a lot of cool ways that he went into the Diamond Cutter. Yeah. So then do a little homework, watch Diamond Dallas Page and then see, okay, he'll jump up into it. And it just evolved like that. John Laurinaitis, of course, did the Ace Crusher. Sure. Everybody knows about the Ace Crusher, right? And if you don't know, that was a cutter that your boss, John Laurinaitis, used to do when he was wrestling. So the fact that he kind of mentored me in a way, and that was his finish, he would be in my ear and, hey, kid, when I used to do it, I'd do it like this, try it like this. So I had a bunch of guys in my ear that kind of knew better than me, and that along with just time. And I think that thing evolved to where I eventually realized there was no limitations. And, I could hit that thing when guys are in the air. Like there's really no limitations to what you could do with an RKO. I just hit Chad Gable with an RKO out of a moonsault a month or two ago.
Yeah.
I had never done that, like there's RKOs that Riddle have done just in the last few weeks that I didn't even know, it was, you could hit somebody with an RKO out of that reversal, but it's pretty cool. There's so many ways that you can hit an RKO, and we're still coming up with different ways, So it's the move that keeps on giving,
Well, I'm going to go back again. You talked about earlier how cool it was that in your very early stages of WWE, you got to be in the ring with absolute legends, like The Undertaker. But you also got to spend time with the likes of Triple H, Ric Flair, Batista during that time. You see evolution here. What would you say were some of the biggest lessons you took away from this period of time with these legends?
I think, so that was a long period of time that I was in Evolution. I was definitely a kid back then, and I think there was those out of the ring moments where, maybe I would mess up a little bit or do something out of the ring where I'd get a little heat, and Hunter would pull me aside. And I remember on a handful of occasions getting to the venue and Triple H finding me, and this was like, not everyone had cell phones. This is how long ago that was. And he'd come find me and be like, come here, kid. What'd you do? Come here. And he'd go pull me up to the stands, and we'd sit in the arena in the stands where no one could hear us or see us. And he would just talk to me. And he would, there was one time where I was disrespectful towards Arn Anderson, and it had something to do with the title. I was the Intercontinental Champion. And Arn wanted me to wear the title around my waist. And I had some words on how I described how I didn't like how the belt sat on my body. And I had a couple, like the way I described it to him, I think he took it as disrespectful. And, it went right over my head. But that belt, that title, you wear it around your waist. That it was a sign of respect, and Hunter had to pull me aside and kind of tell me like, hey man, you pissed off Arn, you can't, you got to watch what you say. You got to watch how you say it. You got to keep your mouth shut, your ears open. Like I learned a lot from Hunter, like in that regard, on just like being a better performer, being a better guy in the locker room, being a better person. He was always in my ear with, the only one that's gonna F this up is you. You are your own worst enemy. The only one that's gonna stop this, your trajectory is you. And he was right. And I did everything I could. I was hell bent to stop it. But luckily I had guys like that in my corner that would be able to pull me aside and like spit a little wisdom at me. And that was probably the greatest takeaway for me, surprisingly, was out of the ring, hearing those words of advice.
He was with you, obviously, in Evolution. You're on the same side. You become rivals after that, and you become rivals for multiple decades. That's one story with Triple H, but maybe more as rivals and when you're in the ring together. How important was Triple H to your entire career?
Yeah, there's a few guys, man, that, when I give that Hall of Fame speech, that they're going to be at the top of the list, and Triple H is one of them. Gosh, like he saw me, you know what I mean? He saw me during the day. I was with another young guy ringside. I was developmental, hadn't been on TV, of course, and he just saw me working. And he saw something special in me, man. I think about that often a lot more often than you'd think, actually. Like there's guys like that. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. Like there's so many, instrumental men in my life, especially in that time period, that believed in me. And it's really amazing to me, like how important. Like I wouldn't be here talking to you if it wasn't for a handful of these guys. Triple H is one of them, and it's just wild. I've said this a bunch of times, but it instills in me the God, I see what I need to do for everything to come full circle. I see what I was given, and like no matter how talented I was or might have been, or no matter how much potential I had, someone had to see that potential. Someone had to mold it and turn it and feed it into what it eventually would become. And without that, those nutrients from Triple H and that information from Ric Flair and Vince and John Laurinaitis giving me, a second chance when maybe I shouldn't have been given one. Like all those things, come together, and I got to remember that now when I'm getting pissed at a young guy for messing up in the ring, or when I'm pulling a guy aside and trying to, talk to Riddle about like, hey, listen, you can't do this or you can't do that, or try doing it this way, or you got to carry yourself this way. Or to think that I'm the one giving this advice is pretty astonishing, especially to some of the guys that have known me from years and years ago. Like there's some cameramen that every once in a while they'll like see a glimpse of the past with me or something, and they just joke, come elbow me in the ribs, and they're like, hey, I saw old Randy starting to come out there for a second. Don't do that, and I just had an incident at the airport yesterday, and Stu, the cameraman, was sitting behind me, and he kind of kicked my chair on the airplane because I was getting hot about the guy behind me, the other guy behind me giving me a crap about reclining my seat, and I felt like Stu could feel the energy in the cabin of the plane, like changing, and, and the hairs on my neck and my hands are getting sweaty, and I'm so angry with this guy, and I'm talking to him, and it's like, I get that kick in the back of my chair, and I knew right away it was Stu. This is yesterday. So it's a constant, it's a work in progress.
Sure.
You guys, Kayla, you know me a little better than those guys, but like I'm a good guy. I think I kind of match energy sometimes too. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not out the gate like but I can be if I feel like I'm being disrespected or my people are being disrespected. You know what I mean? I don't know.
No, of course.
I'm rambling.
That's okay.
I
I'm
like it.
rambling.
I like to get that the idea of coming full circle like that and learning from Triple H and giving back. I think that's cool. But you talked about developmental time. You come through OVW, John Cena around that time, Brock Lesnar, Batista, Shelton Benjamin. We're seeing you a little bit here from OVW. Could you feel that you were part of a special group at that? Could you see the raw talent and go, man, we might have quite a group here going forward?
I don't think that I did, because I didn't know. I didn't have anything to compare it to, and at that time, you think about yourself when you're 19, 20, like you're not that in tune with your surroundings to where you can step back, outside looking in and see what's going on and like, oh, this is going to be special. In 10, 20 years from now, there's going to be 5 world champions right here I'm looking at. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that. I think like when I first went down there, I seen Batista, and then shortly thereafter, Lesnar and Cena came, and I was like, oh my God, why am I down here? You know what I mean? What have I got it other than, the Orton name?
Right.
But everybody works together down there, and everybody's growing together, and the end result is what you see now. Cena's off in Hollywood, highly successful, probably one of the hardest working and just wisest entertainers that I've ever met or heard of. Look what Rock's done. Like so much has come from like that era, that generation, and to know what we had back then, no, we were just a bunch of dumb kids. We were all loading up and going to like Road Trip was a movie that came out the year that I went down to Louisville in 2000. And I remember me, Lesnar, Cena, gosh, Shelton, there must have been 20 of us. And we're in this movie theater, this packed movie theater, watching Road Trip. And we're in Louisville, Kentucky. And on the movie, the actors are driving by a road sign, and you see the sign, and it says Louisville, Kentucky, and the whole place erupts. And I just remember the camaraderie, but I remember, and I don't want to say who it is because I don't want to go to Suplex City. But, I remember Lesnar, who has a great sense of humor and can pop the boys at will if he wants to. Lesnar stood up, bent over, and let one rip, and it echoed off the walls of the movie theater. And we were farther back in the theater, but if you can just imagine that happening and being very loud, and then everyone being scared to turn around because there's a gorilla that just jump on your head, So I remember stuff like that. Yeah. So no, I wasn't going, wow. Look at this group of men and women, like we're going to be something someday. This is the beginning of something special. No, we were farting on each other in movie theaters.
Randy, that's an all-time story. It makes my question impossible to transition to, but I'll try. That's amazing. Okay. So a couple years after that, you're in one of the all-time great matches against Mick Foley at Backlash. It really changes the evolution of your career. Earlier this week, that match celebrated its 18th anniversary, and Mick tweeted about it, which he has said many times, saying that it's his favorite match of all time, which from Mick Foley is high praise. You replied to that saying this, saying, "Forever grateful for you, Mick." Randy, my question coming out of all of that, because it's genuinely one of the greatest matches in WWE history, did that match for you feel as transformative that night for you as it did for all of us watching in April of 2004?
So you had asked if I knew back then about certain things like that we had something special at that time, and I answered no. How could I at that age? Now, at this match, however, this is in 2004, so I'm about 2 years into being on television. So I've got some momentum, and now this evolution thing is in the works. I'm the IC champion, and Mick Foley wants to come back and work with this young Randy Orton kid, and I'm just like, I had everything right there at my disposal, and having those men be willing to teach me like they did. Mick had something to prove. He hadn't wrestled in like 4 years or 5 years, I think, at that time. So he had something to prove to himself and to the fans, and he wanted that one last match that we're all cursed to want to have. And he also was tasked with making a up-and-coming Randy Orton. So he had two very lofty goals in order for Backlash in 04. We were in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and the fans were amazing. It was one of those nights where everything just falls into place. And not one tack was embedded in my back in the wrong place. Like everything was just perfect. You know what I mean? It was an amazing night. And to answer your question, yes, I knew that match was going to do something for me before I had it. I didn't know what, but, looking back when it was all said and done, like that was just, that was a perfect like symphony of destruction. That it was, that I probably watched that match back more than I've watched anything else. And the thing is traditional wrestling match wise, we didn't really, we just went out there and beat the holy crap out of each other. It was a hardcore match. Like, so watching a match back or considering that to be one of your greatest matches, like as a performer, like I've had much harder matches or been in situations where I really had to try to work to get the people. Backlash 04 with Foley was easy. Like we had thumbtacks and fire and mattresses made out of barbed wire and two men willing to put it all on the line. Like it was so cool and it did so much for me. And yeah, I knew what was happening as it was happening because I had never felt the energy in an arena like that. And ever since that night, something changed and it never changed back. What it is, I can't really tell you, but there's this like aura about me after this match. And I think it was confidence. I think it boosted my confidence and it made me kind of, not only did the fans see me do that to myself and Mick do that to me and me do those things to Mick, not only did they see that, not only did that make me, higher up a level in their eyes, it also did that for me personally. Yeah. So I needed that as much as, I did for my career. I needed that personally. And Mick, man, yeah, Mick, if you're listening, brother, thank you. My favorite too. And the fact that he says that that's his favorite match, I mean, that only makes it all the sweeter. Oh. And he could even be lying to me about that. He's had so many badass matches. Like I know that's at least one of his top 3, 4, 5 matches. You know what I mean? Like in real life, but like for me, like that's number one, man. That was like game changer. Randy Orton had arrived at that point when he landed in those thumbtacks. And those fans knew that I was willing to do whatever I had to do to entertain them.
Well, on that note, we got a little surprise for you. Watch this.
Hello, Randy. It's your friend, Mick Foley, the hardcore legend, and I want to congratulate you on an amazing 20 years with WWE. Who knew 18 years ago when we faced off in Edmonton that you would have such an amazing legacy and that you would still remember our match? I remember I caught a red-eye flight home. There was a travel delay in Toronto, so I didn't make it home until Raw was just about to start. And when they announced you, it was like, wow. It was like the audience reacted like you were a different cat altogether. I think that match did a lot for both of us, and I'm so glad to have played a small role in your phenomenal career. Wishing you the very best and hoping all your days are nice.
That's really, really cool. Thank you, guys. That was really cool.
It's pretty
really cool.
It's cool that it means so much to you and it means so much to him knowing both of your careers. And now that we're 20 years and we're celebrating you all week. You're a 14-time world champion. You're a 4-time tag team champion, United States champion, Intercontinental champion, 2-time Royal Rumble winner. You've won Money in the Bank. You've main evented multiple WrestleManias. What motivates you when you're on TV on Mondays, on Fridays, on premium live events? How is it for you now, 20 years after all of those accolades?
Gosh, that's a good question. How is it for me now after doing everything that I've done? Like, I think now and I touched on this a little earlier, now I'm enjoying it more. I think now I'm able to enjoy it. I think that's the biggest change for me. Is back then it was just go, 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 go. And I was wrestling, 180 to 220 matches a year consistently. There was a few years where, I would have an injury, but I had like 3 or 4 injuries, but you're out 3, 4, 5 months for each of those injuries over 20 years. That's not a lot of time off. We go. And back then, I think there was so much going that you couldn't really stop and smell the roses. So I think now I'm able to stop and smell the roses. I think I'm able to enjoy the fruits of my labor a little bit. I'm able to be home more with my family. My schedule's obviously not as hectic as it used to be. And that's kind of a general all across the board for the WWE. we don't have to wrestle 300 shows a year, you know, like we can give guys a little bit of a break to recover because they are human, you know. So the fact that the schedule has slowed down a little bit for everybody, I think that that's great for everybody because everybody needs to stop and smell the roses, you know. We're everybody that's in that ring, man, we're all very lucky to be there. WWE is an amazing place to be. You know, best company on earth, amazing people backstage, in the ring, and out. And it just doesn't get any better. I think that I'm going to be a WWE guy for the rest of my life. I've got a contract coming up in a couple of years, but I plan on, you know, not untying my boots for the last time, you know, until I'm well into my 50s.
Nice. All right.
How could you stop? How could you stop? Like, I'm seeing the dilemma now. You're starting to get older. I'm 42. I just turned 42, but I started young, right? So I'm doing the math in my head, you know, okay, Edge started when he was X amount and he wrestled, but then he had 10 years or 9 years where he didn't wrestle. So he was recovering, but I was wrestling. So even though he's been around longer, I wrestled more, but then he was like, I'm trying to do the math. Like, when's my neck or when's my back or my knee or my shoulder gonna say, you gotta stop, you know, no more for you, young man. You know, I don't know when that is. So it's funny, but I would love for it to play out to where, like, you know, say on my 50th birthday, and WrestleMania always falls around on my birthday anyway. I'm April Fool's Day, April 1st. So let's say in a perfect scenario, on my 50th birthday, WrestleMania falls on that day that year, and I'm able to have my retirement match at WrestleMania. Well, what would it be? 46?
8 years from now, it'll be 46. Yep.
Yeah, WrestleMania 46. Randy Orton retirement match, WrestleMania 46 versus John Cena.
Oh, okay.
I called it.
Book it.
Okay.
Randy, you're incredible. Like, again, we all admire you so much for everything that you've contributed to this business over the last 2 decades. We do appreciate you coming onto the bump to talk about some of these memories with all of us. So thank you so much. Congratulations. And we hope it is a very long time, at least when you're 50, before we have to say goodbye to you. Also, I don't know, is Kim still in the room?
She is. She can hear you right now.
Well, we wanted her. We wanted to give her a little shout out for her podcast. If there's anything she wants to promote.
Oh,
Kimberly.
Yeah. I hear the shower water running, but Kim, they want to promote your podcast. Hold on. Wait, yeah, she said, yeah, do it. What should I say? Wives of Wrestling. Listen to Wives of Wrestling. Badass podcast with 2 beautiful women, Giovanna Engel and Kim Orton, my wife, Kim Orton. It's entertaining, I got to tell you. I didn't know what to think at first, but when you listen to it, like if you're on the cardio in the gym and you want something to listen to it, because that cardio will go by in a blink. She's my wife, so I hear her talk all the time. But you wouldn't think I'd want to hear it like extra. Like I wouldn't want to, you know, go out of my way to listen to my wife talk. But I do. It is. She's really good at it. She's really good at it.
You're
and so is Giovanna.
It's coming. Just
Yeah, she's gonna RKO you.
Watch out for the RKO.
Randy, thank you so much and congratulations, and we'll see you soon. And good luck heading into Backlash.
Thanks, man.
Randy.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank you. We'll see you
All the
soon.
best.